Hey guys, thanks very much for joining me today. And in today's video, I'd like to go over my top 5 arcade one-up cabinets that I'd like to see in the UK in 2022. Let's get on with this. So yeah, like I said, 2022, we've started off the year. Now, the last video that I was doing, I got another chance to see the extensive range that Arcade 1-Up does within the States and Canada. And over here we don't get an awful lot, not at the moment anyway. It's still kind of a fledgling hobby, I guess you could call it. So there's really only 4 cabinets that are available. There's the 3 original legacy cabinets, so Midway, Capcom and Namco Bandai, and then there's the Buck Hunter World, which you can get as well. But there's a load of different cabinets that have been coming out in the States. There's recent ones, but there's ones that have been out for a year or so as well that would be really cool to get my hands on. So I thought I'd make a list of my top 5 that I'd like to see, and let's see if you agree with me or if you have a completely different list. Now, I'm only going to be talking about cabinets that are actually out in the wild at the moment, so none of the new legacy ones or rumored cabinets that will be coming out. So let's go with number 5. My number 5 is the Simpsons cabinet. When it was announced last year, I was all over this. I thought it was going to be brilliant. I have such a love for the Simpsons arcade machine and the arcade game. It was definitely going to be high on my list of wants. The reason it's at number 5 was simply because of the price point that they put on it. This was the first cabinet that they stuck up for $700, and really it only contained 2 games, which was a major disappointment. I know The Simpsons is a big franchise, and trying to secure that license was probably difficult, but with only 2 games, The Simpsons and Simpsons Bowling on it, is it worth £700? Or sorry, is it worth $700? Goodness knows what it would be when it comes over here. It's still on my list, but it has fallen down a fair few spaces. I think the artwork on it looks fantastic, and I have other ways of playing the Simpsons arcade game. It's on my At Games behind me. But having a 4-player dedicated Simpsons cabinet, that would be pretty cool. Just maybe not for that price point. Number 4 on my list is the Big Blue Street Fighter cabinet. I'm not a big Street Fighter fan, but I think the idea of having the online version of these cabinets would be a big plus. The spectator mode is a fantastic little feature, allowing people to do their kind of third-party tournaments and things like that. It's fantastic. It looks a bit weird, but I guess that's how Big Blue sort of was back in the arcade. The list of games on it is actually pretty cool, especially if you're a fighting fan. Darksiders and things like that, but you've also got Knights of the Round, the various versions of Street Fighter 2, and I think it's a well put together cabinet. People are really liking it. The online or the live functionality on it is a fantastic plus, and I'm definitely all about this. I would love to get my hands on this and get a sort of a go on the online elements of it and see exactly how they work and put myself to the test, I guess, with it. Number 3 isn't really for me, honestly. So it's the arcade 1-Up Junior Paw Patrol. Now this I would definitely want to pick up for my kids. Both of them are big into Paw Patrol, and I'd like to build them a bit of an arcade corner of their playroom. Now if you look where I am at the moment, I'm sitting out in the garage. I used to have an office inside the house, but that was taken over and they have turned it into their playroom. So it's full of toys, but as they get older and things like that, I'm sure there'll be other things that go into their TV, musical things, maybe even a games console. They're both big into Paw Patrol at the moment. I think they would really dig this. I think the height is just right. The big chunky buttons and joysticks, I think they'll really dig that. I was weighing this one up against the Pac-Man one, and we have a Pac-Man legacy machine behind me here, and honestly I thought the kids would enjoy that quite a lot, but no, Pac-Man's maybe lost its draw for them, but I think the Paw Patrol one would be really cool for them, and yeah, it'd be exciting to see what they think of it. My number 2 is Killer Instinct. Now, this hasn't been out for very long, but I would love to see it over in the UK. It's maybe a bit of an ask to get it over here so quickly, but I would be all over this if it did come out. Killer Instinct is a fantastic game. I played it on the N64. I believe I played it in the arcade as well, because that's why I went out and got it on the N64. Again, it has the live functionality, it has the ability to play online with other people. At the moment, it doesn't have the spectator mode, but that's probably going to be something that's going to be addressed fairly soon. The other games on it, Battletoads. Battletoads is fun, that's a nice little addition in there. And of course, you also have Killer Instinct 1 and 2, so a fantastic lineup on this cabinet. Again, the artwork on these things looks fantastic. You got Spinal on the front. The marquee looks good, although I have heard reports that it's washed out with the blacks, which tends to happen with the black marquees with arcade 1-up, but I'm not overly concerned with that. It wouldn't put me off enough. Yeah, I would love to get my hands on this and see how it goes. Again, it's $700, but has more games on it than the Simpsons one, so it's definitely higher up my list. We'll just have to see what price it is if it makes it over to the UK. My number 1 pick at the moment is definitely Ridge Racer. I would love to get a driving cabinet in here, and the Outrun cabinet didn't really speak to me as much as Ridge Racer. Well, I mean, at the moment it doesn't really, it's a moot point because none of them have made it over to the UK. The Outrun one, I don't know if that's going to come over here, but if it's going to be a toss-up between Ridge Racer and Outrun, Ridge Racer is definitely my jam. I would pick that up in a heartbeat. The graphics on it look to be playing fantastic. We have improved buttons and pedals, and the force feedback on the steering wheel. However, I have heard that the force feedback doesn't work for the 2 Ridge Racer games. It only works for Ace Driver and Rave Racer, which is a bit of a strange one, but still, having a driving cab in the arcade would be fantastic. It's definitely a draw for people, and I'm a big fan of the Ridge Racer series, so I would definitely be wanting to pick that up. So there you have it. There's my top 5 wants from Arcade 1-up this year within the UK. Will we get any of these? I've no idea. It's a pipe dream. I'd love to see maybe 1 or 2 of them come over. I don't think I could manage to pick up all 5. 1, don't have the money. 2, don't have the room. I would definitely have to be sacrificing something in here, and I don't know what would go. But yeah, I think that's a nice little list for myself. Like I say, it's my opinion, my sort of feelings towards these cabinets and what I would gravitate towards if they all were available. Anyway, what do you guys think? Do you think I'm on the right track with this list? Would it be something? Would it be the games on here? Would they be ones on your list, or would you go a completely different way? I know there's ones out there like Golden Axe. Golden Axe I left off the list, and it was a hard one. It was a toss-up between the Simpsons and the Golden Axe cabinet. They're both 4-player ones. They're both big chunky guys. Simpsons just pushed it through there because I just have such a love for the Simpsons arcade game, and that Revenge of Death Adder, I only played it once. I did like it, but let's call that one an alternate, shall we? Anyway, please put your list in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think as well, and see if we're on the same wavelength on this. But thank you very much for joining me again, and I will see you again very soon. Thanks very much. Bye bye for now.